Hi, my name is Matty Wilkinson. I'm with the Moving Center, and I'm going to tell you a story today about a child who I work with. This was a session I was doing on Zoom with the mom and the child. And she's a 1 year old and she had a brain injury. She was premature, had a brain injury. The little girl had rolled away from her mom. She was rolling towards this banister that has kind of sharp edges on it. The wood is hard and it's an edge. So her mom went over close to where she was and went to put her hand between the banister and the girl's head. And I saw this, her concern and her wanting to care for and protect her child. But I thought it was an interesting opportunity. So I said, hold on, can you just say, this is hard? And the girl at this point was making a lot of sounds, but wasn't verbalizing, although she does understand a lot. And so the mom touched the banister and said, this is hard. And the girl looked and I had the mom, now can you take her hand and put her hand on it and say, hard. It's hard. So she said hard with the girl's hand. And then there was a scarf there. And so we were kind of going back and forth. This is soft, soft, hard. Oh, this is hard. And playing, and the girl rolled towards it, but she rolled slowly. And she got her arm actually went through two of the balusters, the post of the banister, and she brought her face to one of the edges of the wood, and she was touching it with her face very carefully, and it was really beautiful. And the mom was talking to her about how, yeah, this is hard. And what happened was the girl then, she brought her arm out and she was lying next to the banister, and suddenly she pushed up onto her hands and knees. And the mom was really thrilled because she had never done that before. And I thought it was such an incredible example of how when we slow down and we create space for something, we don't do the usual thing, the habitual or the historical thing, but we look for opportunities to bring something new and to give the child more responsibility, more autonomy, um, putting the situation more in her lap to manage herself. How these amazing things can happen. And right after that, the girl was laying on her back, and the mom was kind of down close to her and was very sweet. And the mom was like, "I'm going to give you a kiss." Or no, she actually said, "Do you want a kiss?" And she gave her a big kiss. And I said, "Oh, this is actually really great. Like, you just asked her, do you want a kiss? But then you just went and you did it, right? So let's slow it down and see, again, creating space." So I said, "Can you just ask her, do you want a kiss?" And she goes, "Do you want a kiss? Do you want a kiss?" And the little girl's like, ah, like she's excited, but not responding verbally. And I coached the mom to actually, again, make her communication more distinct. So I said, "Can you say not? Can you say, do you want to kiss? Yes. Ah." And the mom said, "Do you want to kiss? Yes. Ah." And the little girl was like, "Ah." And I was like, "Give her a kiss." So she gave her a kiss, and we played this game for a while, like being distinct and clear in the language and the timing and the quality, and waiting. And this back and forth got established with the girl saying "ah" for yes. And when I saw her the next week, she had a language explosion. She was saying approximating many words, repeating a lot of initial sounds of words. She was touching my hat, and I would say, and she'd say, or sometimes she'd say, sometimes she says hat. It's been really exciting, and I thought it was an awesome example of creating space and opening up some new possibility for something new to emerge.
Yeah, it's a wonderful story. And I think about creating space, like I think it's even occurred to me that we're looking at the space at the beginning when there's not enough differentiation. It's like you create a space, but then it's a global thing. And then you zoom in, kind of like going from zoom out to zoom in on specific things, differentiations. Then you go back and then the space is becoming more rich. What's happening between you and the child? And she was starting to pay attention to herself. The mom started to slow down to see how much the slowing down, the creating the space actually leads to attention, awareness, variations, all the other stuff that actually light up the brain into learning. It's a cool story.
Yeah,
Thanks.
Great. I agree. It's like just the beautiful trust the mother and the child had together, and that moment, leaving really the space for the two to learn with each other. It's just like the mother was as much learning as the child. So it's like everybody was learning in this room. So fantastic, beautiful story.
Yeah, I think that's a really great way of capturing it, like this trust. According to her sort of experience up to that point, the mom had a certain response, but in the moment, she could see that this was safe and she could manage and she could explore something new. And that was really about kind of growing her trust in her daughter's ability to manage herself around this part of her environment, which is something she plays around a lot. So it's very empowering to suddenly have access to it, to be introduced, to be given the responsibility of relating to the edges, the edges in her environment. You know, I'm a parent also, and I know for myself how, because our relationship with our child is so continuous from birth, and we're so used to it that it's hard sometimes to see those opportunities that are there and that are just beyond what's happening right now. It's very beautiful and touching for me to step into that relationship with them, which is so loving and so sweet, and find these little opportunities to expand, to grow, to develop. It's amazing what can happen, actually, I think, when we shift those.
Thank you, Matty, for sharing this story.
Thanks. Yeah.
I'm Andrea Hennen. I live in Germany, next to the border to Luxembourg and France.
I'm Eitan Lerner, and I live right now in Canada.
I am Matty Wilkinson. I am in Boston, Massachusetts.
And we are the Moving Center.